Hello, and welcome to another edition of the Fifth Quarter. I'm Mike Ciarochi, sports editor of the Herald-Standard. Thanks for joining us. I'm joined again by George Von Benko, memory lane author and a radio personality from WMBS Uniontown. George, here we are at the Super Bowl.
Well-known ice skater on the streets of Dallas.
Beautiful downtown, icy Dallas, Texas.
Wow.
Who'd have thought? Actually, the weather has been quite a story here this week. The snowstorm hit, the rain and snow turned into a sheet of ice on just about every highway in the area. Hit, I believe, on Tuesday evening, and it really wreaked havoc on the area.
Well, I think you were at Media Day, right?
Yeah.
They said it was a noticeably smaller turnout at Media Day because of the weather.
Right. But actually, it was Monday night that it hit, because you're right. Tuesday morning was tough sledding to get in and out of the stadium. I was fortunate that I have relatives that live less than 4 miles from the stadium, so I had an easier commute. But I went from there up here to the media center at the Sheraton in Dallas, and did my writing up here from Media Day. And the trip back from here to my brother's near the stadium
It was an adventure.
Tractor trailers going 20 miles an hour, and you knew why.
Well, that's one thing I've noticed. People down here do not know how to drive in the ice and the snow. You never touch your brakes on ice, and you don't push the gas on ice. And they're spinning all over.
The first thing the Texans do is hit the brakes.
And they're spinning all over the place. Yeah. But the thing about it, I even noticed today when I went to the Packers, that compared to past Super Bowls I've been to, that wasn't as big of a crowd over there.
I did kind of notice a little bit even at the Steeler press conferences, that the numbers were a bit down. They used to be really tight. Now, it was fairly crowded around certain
individuals.
Cubicles. Yeah, Ben Roethlisberger drew a crowd because he was out with the offensive line a few nights ago.
I got a chuckle.
On a night off.
Yeah, the NFL in their infinite wisdom put the Roethlisberger cubicle next to the only set of stairs to get. And the
rest of the players couldn't come down. Couldn't get out to go to their assigned table.
I forget what player joked about that. I think it was Ferrier. Whose bright idea was this?
But you know what? Speaking with Jim Wexler yesterday, and the Steelers seem to be loose for this game. Do you agree with that?
I agree with it. There's a quiet confidence. It was a very workmanlike media session when I talked. I had a great conversation with Dick LeBeau. And one of the things that seems to be really taking on a life of its own is the theory that Green Bay is going to spread the field with more receivers, force the Steelers to take more of their linebackers off the field, play more nickel and more dime, and look at the film of New England and look at the film of New Orleans and attack the Steelers that way. And there's a great deal of people in the media who feel that is going to lead Green Bay to victory, that the Steelers cannot handle that spread. Well, I asked Dick LeBeau point blank about that and said, are we making too much of that? Mm-hmm. Yes. That was yes.
The one word is,
we're making too much of that. So that tells you how he feels about it.
There's been a couple other storylines this week, probably none bigger or bushier, I guess I should say, than Brett Kiesel's beard.
Well, you heard what he's going to do when he does shorn the beard. He's going to give the hair to Bill DeFabio.
That'll be a good start for Bill.
A real good start. But they have a guy on their side too. The offensive guard that's going to be across from Kiesel also has a beard.
Yeah, but it's
a tight-knit beard compared to Brett's.
Tightly cropped.
And he was angling. I heard his press conference, and he was angling for a shaving commercial for both of them.
Hey, George, you also had a good story in the Herald-Standard for us within the last couple of weeks. Uniontown's own Gene Huey let go, basically, by the Indy Colts and longtime running backs coach there. Tell us about your conversation with Gene.
Well, when I talked to Gene, he was caught totally off guard by what happened. He had been there 19 years. One of the longest tenured assistants in NFL history, one of the longest tenured assistants for the Colts. He had a meeting with Jim Caldwell, the coach, and he said maybe a little flag went up right then because a couple of questions were asked that made him wonder where they were going with this, but he did not see it coming. Was totally flabbergasted by it. It created shockwaves in Indianapolis. Naturally, an assistant coach getting fired is not going to take on national implications, but in Indianapolis, it was big news.
Yeah.
And the papers, many of the columnists raked the Colts over the coals about the firing, and a lot of people came to Gene's defense, most notably Edgerrin James and Joseph Adai and Marshall Falk. Need I go on? They came to his defense, but Gene has chosen to take early retirement. He had an offer from Leslie Frazier, the new Vikings coach, because Frazier had been on the Colts staff and knows Gene very well. Gene gave it a lot of serious consideration, but he has a teenage daughter and a teenage son. They're going to school in Indianapolis. He hasn't spent an awful lot of time over the years with his family. He did not want to uproot them. He wanted them to finish their high school days there, so he's going to opt for early retirement. And there is even a little possibility at some point after the kids are done with school that he may move back to Uniontown.
Oh, wow, that'd be nice to have him back. Although, I do got to ask, there was a similar position in Minnesota?
Yes, it was the been the running backs coach. He would have coached Adrian Peterson.
Imagine that, going from, as you mentioned, I think in order they would have been Marshall Falk, Edgerrin James, Joseph Adai, to Adrian Peterson.
That's pretty good. Yeah,
not bad. That'll look good on any resume.
It'll look good on any resume, but it was sad, and but he's going to survive. He was down in the dumps about it, and he plans on coming to the Hall of Fame banquet, Hall of Fame banquet, so he'll be there. So that clears up that little.
Yeah, I guess we're going to go back to the Roman numeral game for a little bit.
Super Bowl 45.
Yes. Your impressions, we talked already a little bit about how the Steelers seem kind of loose. Do you sense that the Packers are conversely tight because they don't have the experience of being in
I did not sense that they were tight. I sensed a bit of the unknown.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, well,
several of them said that they don't know what it's going to be like until they go out there, and that's something that there's no amount of preparation that's going to prepare you for that kind of crowd, that kind of voice.
I'm thinking maybe they're more honed toward the football side of it, and you probably couldn't wait to get to practice to just focus in on the game ahead and leave the other stuff. Just try to stay out of the headlines and whatnot. Maybe keep a little lower profile because they don't know. They don't have the experience.
They don't. Now, a lot of people are making a big deal about that, and I like the Steelers' experience, but I hasten to point out that the Colts had the experience last year, and they didn't do them any good against the Saints. Yeah. So that's not always a tried and true barometer.
Yeah, that's a good point. So have you enjoyed your week down here?
No.
The time down here?
I did not like the weather at all.
No. Stepping outside, it's just a reminder. It's almost like I wanted to make this point earlier in the week. The Steelers came in on Monday. The Green Bay Packers came in on Monday. The weather from both cities seemed to get here on Tuesday.
Yeah, and they're actually is warmer back home.
Yes.
I guess as far as a prediction, I like the Steelers. And Madden, the football game, has been unerring in predicting Super Bowl winners. Yeah. They ran it so many times, the Steelers won, so I'm predicting Steelers 27, Packers 20.
Okay, and I will stick with my loose prediction now. I think the Steelers will win the game. Make sure you read Sunday's Herald-Standard. We're going to have paragraph-type predictions from myself, from George, from Jim Wexel, from a lot of different people, everyone on my sports staff at the Herald, a lot of other people in the office and around town. So make sure you tune in the game. 6:29, I believe, is kickoff on Sunday evening. And until next time, that's it for this edition of the Fifth Quarter. Talk to you later.